Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Turtle Sketches. If you're new, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Now, this video has been in production for a while, almost as long as Miraculous Ladybug has been on the air. Wait. One, I cannot believe I have been watching this show for 7 years now. I wasted my life. And also two, this video hasn't been in production for that long, but it's been a while now. Anyway, about last year, I announced that I would start writing an original story about my OCs. The story would be written as a magical girl / superhero TV show. And I did that for a while. I wrote 2 seasons of the story and I uploaded them on my channel. But upon rereading the story in preparation for season 3, I didn't really like how I written my characters, and so I've decided to completely reboot the series. Now I'm going back and making slight changes where I see needed, while creating a show bible to hold all of that information so that I can look back on it later when needed. I will be also making videos about my OCs, proper videos like meet my OC type videos, because I've seen plenty of artists do this trend like Mofu and Sweet Sailor Sketches, who are also amazing artists who you should definitely go subscribe to. But anyway, I thought I could do that as well. But for now, let's get started on the lore of my series, which is what we will be talking about in today's video.
Here is the Miraculous of the Fox, which grants the power of illusion. You will use it for the greater good. Once the job is done, you will return the Miraculous to me. Can I trust you? Totally, Ladybug.
But I came here to get wild, prove I ain't a child. So when the blue moon rises, yeah, our hearts, they'll roam. Welcome, sit close to me. Yeah, come sit close to me. Yeah, I know I used to tell you it was such a bad idea. Whoa, but come sit close to me. I got no one to blame but myself.
Guardian Angels is my original story that follows the hero lives of my OCs, those being Tommy, Gemma, Ren, Alana, and Heaven. Each of the heroes possess a piece of jewelry that allows them to control one of the elements in our solar system, those again being water, earth, fire, wind, and lightning, also destruction, but we'll get to that later. With every hero story, there must be a villain, and that villain is Amber. However, I am possibly renaming her to be Anessa, but anyway, that's besides the point. Plus, I already have a video about Amber / Anessa. I'll link that up wherever I need to, wherever it goes, I forget. Anyway, I planned for the story to have 5 seasons, and with each season having a general theme or arc around it. And also each season having its own little title name. Like season 1 is called Roll Call, season 2 is called Senior Year, season 3 is called Rebirth, season 4 is called Divide, and season 5 is called Conquer. Each season will have a max of 13 episodes, as the story I'm trying to tell doesn't necessarily require there being that many episodes. Plus, with most media, I've grown tired of the episodic nature of a season having 26 episodes and like a majority of those episodes being filler with only a small portion actually contributing to the main plot. And so I believe 13 episodes is a fair amount to flesh out all that needs to be fleshed out for that specific season. Anyway, before I start revealing things that I don't want to be revealed yet, let's begin with everything else. During the 1950s, a great meteor shower struck the Earth. The meteor shower carried 6 rock samples from the stars, each rock being a piece of a planet or moon in our solar system, and when they entered the Earth's atmosphere, they became charged and gave off a radioactive glow. A group of scientists later discovered this rock batch and studied them, later carving the rocks into jewels, in which in the story we are calling the jewels runes, so just to give it a natural name instead of calling them all jewelry every time. Anyway, this group of scientists became the first Guardians. They also created an AI that would take a log of the findings about the runes and their powers and any other information they deemed useful. However, one of the jewels, the black diamond is what we're calling it, was deemed too dangerous for any human to wear, so they locked it away and hid it from the world. The Guardians would then become great heroes of the Earth and were symbols of peace to its people. Though not everyone loved the Guardians, one of the scientists who was part of the original group had taken the black diamond and used its power for her own gain. We later learned why she did this, but I'm not saying it now because that would be a spoiler. She sought revenge against her former friends and destroyed them. In their battle, she was thrown into a black hole, and the remaining Guardians who survived after her attack also threw the runes into another black hole. However, those 2 black holes are linked. That's a mild little detail there. So the remaining, them thinking that the powers will never be seen by the world again, that the evil was swept away, that they thought they zipped it in a bud. They didn't. Spoiler. Duh. However, she would later return, and the runes would find their way back into the modern world. And since, meaning purity, which is the villain's name, would later come back and seek revenge on the new Guardians, and so those Guardians would need to take a stand against her. Also, by the way, this story, like the main modern world, takes place in 2023, but it's kind of like a higher tech version of 2023. Like what we actually imagined this world, the 2023, to be like with spaceships and stuff. And also the 1950s, again, are more of a hyper technologicalized 1950s, kind of like the Incredible setting, but little more advanced in terms of technology. You probably concluded by now that the runes are substitutes for any other magical technological piece of jewelry in this story, like the Infinity Stones or Green Lantern's ring, or like the Miraculous shown in the Miraculous TV show. But the runes, however, aren't tied to any Kwami-like animals or like anything that needs to help them recharge, like the Green Lantern rings. They're more like if Batman took a piece of kryptonite and forged it into a ring or a bracelet. That's the best way I could describe the runes to people who haven't read my story. Anyway, the AI mentioned earlier is called Null. That's what I decided to name it. And it's kind of like the Jarvis of the Guardians. And it takes the form of a cat because cats are cute. You know, they're cute. But anyway, in the show, they do refer to him as a hatchling. And yes, I know technically that doesn't make sense since hatchlings are baby turtles. But you know, I liked it that way. And also, the runes are not animal based like the Miraculous. So the user doesn't always have an animal themed superhero look. But if they choose to have one, they can. Like Alana and Ren have animal based forms. Alana is a lion and Ren is a dragon. So just putting that also out there. In the show, there are 6 runes in existence in in circulation, those being the Ring of the Moon, which controls water, Earings of Fire, the Pendant of Earth, the Hairpin of Lightning, the Bracelet of Air, and the Choker of Destruction. Those are all of their names. And each rune gives the user gives that user power over that respective element. I don't know why I'm stuttering so much. And I will go into further detail about what they can do later in this video. And also in future videos, I will be going over each of the holders in this story. And also, an active rune can grant the user enhanced physical abilities besides their already other powers, like one specific user, well, not one specific user, but all the users do have enhanced strength and agility, as well as near invulnerability. However, invulnerability for that is more like they're very durable. And some of the runes can also grant the user greater physical abilities than others. For example, the rune Earth grants the user super strength. Not enhanced strength, but super strength. Think like Hulk or Superman, that kind. And also noteworthy that the runes are able to compensate for their users in whatever way needed. Also, the runes do grant the users weapons, depending if the user would like a weapon, but it's all subconscious. For example, Thomas, who is the holder of water, he has a bow staff. And Amber, for example, who is the villain of the story, she doesn't have a weapon. However, if you call her hands a weapon, though, that can also be true, I guess, as well. Now, let's get into each of the individual powers of the jewels, or the runes. I see I'm already messing up in my own story. Anyway, the Ring of Water grants the user hydrokinesis as well as chirokinesis, since technically water and ice are the same thing, just in different forms. So I'm just condensing them both together to make it easier on me. So anyway, in terms of hydrokinesis, the user has your basic abilities. Water blast, they can create water constructs, control water in any way of them needed. They can also shapeshift into water, so water mimicry, as well as enhanced swimming. So if Thomas is ever underwater, he swims like a fish, but like a strong fish. As well as, how do I put this? I can't not explain, so I'm just gonna skip to the chirokinesis part of his powers. Obviously, ice blasting, freezing touch, I call it cryosurfing, since Thomas is the water gem thing is the only jewel that doesn't allow the user some form of transportation power. Like Gemma, Ren, Alana, and Amber can all fly. They can all fly. Heaven has super speed, so that's transportation for her. Thomas is the only one who doesn't have some sort of transportation power, so he uses like chirosurfing. Like he creates ice for him to run across and like speed on and stuff. It's weird, but he can also mimic ice as well. So is that water shape shifting, also shapeshift into ice if needed. Now, like I said earlier, the Pendant of Earth allows the user to fly. Gemma can fly, she has super strength, obviously rock manipulation, and she has enhanced strength and enhanced durability, so she's invulnerable. She's like Superman, invincible. And she can also mimic the earth as well. Now, when it comes to what she can control, I'm only allowing her to control rocks, not earth as in nature, and not other things similar to earth like metal and stuff. I'm not going that far into it. She can just control rocks, and that's it. As well, I said flight, as well as she can create earthquakes, but not on the grand scale as it's like breaking the earth. More like small ones, like in a parking lot, if she punches the floor, it can split the parking lot in that sort of way. But I did forget to mention this earlier, their powers do grow as they become more experienced. So there is development. We will see it, you will see it in the story. Next up on our list of superpowers is the Earings of Fire, Alana's gem. Now with Alana, I already explained this earlier, she can fly and her costume is lion/cat based, which was a decision I made simply because I wanted to draw a cat person. That's it really, but I decided to implement her her superhero persona into her arc where she does grow a bit in terms of her hair journey, which I will explain in her own video. But anyway, her powers are, I don't want to say basic, but they kind of are your cliche stereotypical fire abilities. At best I can explain that her powers are somewhat like Starfire's, except she doesn't have energy blast, it's all fire. But one thing I did take from Starfire's character, and that's somewhat in the new Starfire comics, or the more recent ones, where her hair, whenever she does use her power, does turn into fire. And you will see this in the drawing I am currently working on a bit of Alana in her superhero form, where the ends of her hair, like Amber's in this photo, are turning into energy or light. In Alana's case, it's fire. In Amber's case right here, it's energy, or her purple energy thing, whatever I'm gonna call it. Now we are on to Ren, my little OC baby. He was actually one of the very first OCs that I created, and his powers, I will say, I put the least development into. I just gave him a couple abilities in regards to wind, and I am not super happy with myself about that. But anyway, Ren is air, so he can fly. One unique power I did give him was he can take the air, right? And he can solidify it a bit and turn it into an energy blast. That I did create, and I'm super happy about it because it puts him kind of on the same level as everyone else, especially in terms of fighting. So I am happy I did that. All of his other powers, like wind blast, wind shield construction, that is all taken from various different comics that I have read over the years regarding to air-based superheroes and superhumans and stuff like that. However, one part of his design that I haven't fully grasped yet is whether or not he should have wings. He does have horns because he's a dragon, but I don't know if I want him to have wings or not. So let me know in the comments, should Ren have wings in his design? Now we are on to Heaven, one of my most talked about OCs on this channel. As you guys already know, Heaven will become a bad guy in the future. That's ominous. It's already gonna happen. But in terms of her powers, like I said earlier, she does have super speed, unlike Thomas, so she does have a way to get around. She does use her powers sometimes for her own gain, even though she's a superhero nerd in the story, but we won't talk about that. Sometimes she's just late for school and she has to get there quickly, and I understand that. However, one thing also she can do, like the rest of the other heroes, she can become electricity. Like, she controls the storm, but she can also become the storm. Like, I intend to have this play out when she is super emotional in this one scene that I've written. I won't tell you all about it, but she gets super emotional and she turns into lightning and just bolts into the sky. It's not flying though, it's just lightning going to the sky, and it later rains, and that is Heaven. She is crying. It's her tears raining down on the city. And I just think it's really cool. And I think if it was ever going to be animated, it would look really pretty. Alrighty, next up I wanted to talk about our leading lady on the villain side of Guardians. When it comes to Amber, she has the ability to create titans. Now how she does that is first she creates the crystal, which is basically the titan's heart. Sort of like the crystal gems, how their gem is the root of their being. That's how the titans are. But except titans can come in multiple forms, seen fit by the holder, which is Amber, obviously. Now, with that, if Amber seems to, or if Amber does lose that gem, then the Titan is given free will, basically, and they are able to do whatever they want. Amber can't control them anymore. Chaos ensues. And with her other abilities, she basically has your standard energy manipulation. Energy blast, energy dodge, shield. She also has energy draining, petrification, and telekinesis, as well as invincibility, because I wanted to make her scary to the heroes. So, I just wanted to give her all these things, these abilities that could, in one way or another, sort of block or nullify their own powers. So, to make the fights interesting. And if this was ever animated, that would be so cool, honestly. But anyway, with that, with her energy draining, we will see that more in seasons 4 and 5. Well, no, seasons 4, 5, and 3 as well. I'm remembering the order wrong. But anyway, that is where we will see her draining and petrification. Which, if you don't know what petrification means, it's basically like freezing someone in place. We'll see it in the later seasons when, in my opinion, the show gets a little darker. And guys, that is it in terms of the Guardians lore. This is all just the basic things and the basis of my story. I will be sharing more on each of the characters individually in their own videos, but those will come later. I'm kind of tired of Guardians. Well, not tired of Guardians, but kind of tired of making Guardians content for the most part. So I will be diving into other things, probably going back into my using one color challenge. So I will be giving you guys a break and giving me a break as well. But in the future, do be ready for more Guardians content, because it is coming, it is on the way, and I'm just very excited for the future of my story. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like, comment what you think about Guardians so far, and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next video. Hopefully that will come out sooner rather than later. I hope you all have a good day or night wherever you are in the world, and goodbye.
Trying on new forms and chasing whatever inspires you, no matter where it leads, you fabulous little creatures.